So I got this van that's kind of rusted around the bottom edges. So I got to do a repair job on it. And I have this panel that was made for a Chevy van, and it curved the wrong way. When it got up here, it curved out and up, so I had to cut the top edge off. Also back here on the Chevrolet, it curves out this way and over, so I cut that down there and hammered it flat, and then now I have to weld that to this and make it flat all the way across. Okay, so we got to set our gauges, turn on the oxygen, and we've got maybe 300 pounds of pressure left. I think it was somewhere up around 1,500 when I started. This thing here is used to adjust the pressure that comes out the hose, and it's at 40 on the oxygen. That's where it ought to be. And this one, let me turn that on. The acetylene is, well, there's still quite a bit left in there, and it's supposed to be at 7, but once you open the valve, it'll drop down one. Right now it's on 8, but when I open it up, it'll drop down to 7. I've got a cut and torch on there right now, and with a cut and torch, you open up the oxygen all the way here, and this one here is closed. Now, let me light it and I'll show you how it goes. Now there's two ways you can do this. You do it with a scratcher, which is kind of primitive, but it works. Or a good old reliable Bic lighter, which I like to use, but it's not as safe as the scratcher. See, because first turn on the oxygen until it, the acetylene, until it stops smoking. Right about there, there's no more smoke. And with this valve all the way open, you adjust your oxygen right here. Okay, so I gotta clean my tip. I'm not supposed to be doing that. But here we go. We cut it, we heat it up, we see that it's getting red. You squeeze the trigger. It gives you an extra blast of oxygen. And we shut that off. And shut that off. And shut this off because we're going to be, let me see, there. Shut both off here because I'm going to change the tip for welding. Okay, so this is the welding tip. Put that on like so and point it away from me. Well, let's see, I want to go about there. Now this is number 1, the number's on the back. I know you can't see it, but it's a number 1 tip, which I use for sheet metal. It unscrews, you can put in different sizes if you're going to do frames and stuff. But the number 1 is what I use on sheet metal. And let me see if I can get my camera lined up, so watch me work. Okay, I hope you can see that good enough. Now, like I was going to say before, the thing is with the Bic lighter, you got to be careful, because if you have this laying on the floor and a hot spark falls on it, it'll explode. Also, if you have it in your pocket and a hot spark hits it, your pocket gets blown off and you get badly burned. So it's better to use the scratcher, but I use this. Okay, so I got to get that so that this stops smoking, which is about there. Maybe just a tad more. And then adjust the flame by adding oxygen, which is very sensitive, by the way, until it comes back to right there. Then you're ready to weld. So take your welding rod or your coat hanger. I hope I don't set this camera on fire. And You get down in there, you get the metal red on both sides until the welding rod melts and flows together. I need a hammer because okay, so this is rising up. I gotta get it. Works better when it's flush. Put that there. And while it's still hot, I gotta run in there with some more metal and hit it, make it melt. See, I'm cutting holes in it. Even the number 1 tip is a little bit too hot. But as the metal starts flowing, just keep adding it. And right now, it looks like I gotta hammer it again. Now I'm doing this on the inside, so it'll have a lot less body work on the outside of the panel when I put it on. And try not to hold the heat on too long because it'll burn right through. And you know, it's not recommended for sheet metal, but well, MIG welders work good for that. And yeah, try not to breathe in the fumes. Get that hot. Hammer it down. Oh, did I bust the camera? I don't know how long ago that happened. Okay, so the whole trick is to control the heat. Don't get too much on there. If there was a 0 tip instead of a 1, I'd use that. This 1 seems a little too hot for this sheet metal. But if you're quick without it, you can weld it before it burns a hole through it. Oh, that didn't work. Add a little more. There we go. And doing it this way, you can use a hammer and dolly on it when it's done in order to get it flat on the outside. And whoops, there, I burned a hole. I think the reason is because I'm getting close to the end where it's no longer overlapping. So that little hole on the end. Now, whoops, too much heat, but you can always fill it. Well, I made a big hole that time. Oh, let's see. Let's get this little hole filled first. Now to fill the big hole, I have to add some metal. And I think, oh yeah, there's a hole there. Fill those holes. Try not to make them, but if you make them, you can fill them if you're careful. There, all done, welded up, and I think it looks good as new. Let's see how the other side looks. Let me try not to strip. And it's pretty ugly, but a little bit of filler, and it'll be just fine. A little grinding, a little filler. Take this off now, and it won't spread. So that's pretty much it. It's pretty easy to do it once you get the hang of it. Hope this is helpful to anybody. If not, let me know and I'll try again with a little bit better video, maybe get somebody to hold the camera. Oh, and I forgot, I was halfway back to the house. I was in a hurry to get a beer, I guess. Always shut your valves off after you're done welding. You don't want to leave this on overnight because it may leak and you lose a lot of gas that way. That's what happened to my argon on the MIG welder. I think I got to refill that because it looks like there's nothing left. All right, so I think this is kind of a short video, but that's okay with me because the last one was a half hour and it took about 6 hours to download it or upload it or whatever. So this one should go on pretty soon.